Welcome to my video. Now, I'm making this video based on a game I played. It's another game I lost, and the lesson want you to take out of this is I just got lazy. I got lazy because, as you'll see in the game, and you probably saw in the thumbnail, I had 3 legal moves because I was in check, and I had 3 legal moves. 2 of them would have been okay. One was a terrible blunder, and I think you can guess which move I made, so I will leave it at that, and we will go to the chess. Alright guys, so if you look at this position, it's completely crazy, and honestly, I'm not even gonna show you like the whole game because it was just like craziness. I experimented with like G4 and H4, stuff like that, and I wouldn't recommend watching. So, however, if we take stock of the position, I am up a pawn, and I simply have better pieces actually. It is a crazy position, like what's my queen doing on e6, but I think ultimately it just comes down to one, I am up a pawn. My king is safer than theirs because I have like stuff like this and like both my bishops potentially pointing at the king. And also they have like a knight on h8 and a rook on h6. Like, what are those pieces doing? As I look at it, the evaluation is actually +7. So do with that information as you will. I took on c6, which allowed the sequence. By the way, knight c4 was a better move, but it's 10-minute rapid. It's a crazy game. So I took on c6, which does allow this exchange, and then my opponent takes on b2. And this is the moment that I wanted to highlight, okay? I have 3 legal moves. I have king d1, I have king e1, I have king d3. And in my thought process, I was like, I didn't necessarily see anything wrong with like either of them. I was just like, either way, I'm just going to try to like wiggle out of the checks. And if I can wiggle out of the checks, I'm going to have a great position in front of me. I mean, like, I have all kinds of threats with like, you know, pawn here and like queen here even. Like, once again, my bishops could come to life. What happened here is I got lazy. I got lazy and played king d3. And my idea with king d3 was like, oh, they're going to check me like on a3 or b5, and then I'm going to put my king on e4. And, you know, just like maybe even like f5 or even f3. And like, I'm just going to be bold. I'm going to be fearless. And like, no one's going to be touching my king. Except knight c5. And the game is over. Well, I resigned because they're forking my king and my queen. So yeah, I just lost the game in one move. So the lesson that I want to teach, like the cautionary tale I want to, you know, just talk about is when you're in check, or really just any position where it seems like a move should be obvious or like either way is fine, you do want to make sure to evaluate all your options. Like, I didn't take the proper time to like calculate, okay, if king d3, what's their absolute best move? I mean, if you give me like 5 or 10 seconds, I probably would realize, oh yeah, knight c5 is just a good move for them. So what I should have done is I should have played either of these moves. I do think king d1 is slightly more accurate because it allows less checks by them. So they're going to have to try queen b1. And then when they check me, I just hide on the f3 square. And suddenly, black has no checks. Actually, they do have queen c6, but it does allow a queen trade. The thing is, their pieces are just terribly placed. Like, there's a knight on h8, a knight on a6, a rook on h6. It is like +5 here for what it's worth. Here, apparently, g5 is winning because I'm attacking the rook, and like if they take, I can take e5, and it's just a pretty miserable position for my opponent. And like, yeah, ultimately, I mean, I have 2 bishops, they have 2 knights, and it's just like, yeah, I have a little bit more of a stable position. Their position's just completely discombobulated. So yeah, that's just a valuable lesson. That's why on chess.com, when they give you a position where you're in check, and you know because of the puzzle format, you only have one good move, that's why these are important. You need to properly assess, you know, what's the difference between 2 similar looking moves to where one turns out to be terrible and the other is the safer or the better move. You know, just like, I didn't take my time to like realize the difference. I just thought like, oh, I could go either way, but chess doesn't work that way.